She is a consistent recruiter almost every single month, which means you've collected a lot of Wahoo gifts, haven't you? Please welcome to the stage Advanced Director Kristina Bailey.
I am honored that I was asked to share with you what I have been doing to become a better recruiter. When I sat down to think about recruiting, I immediately remembered my own story of becoming a consultant almost 3 years ago. In 2009, I had 2 small children of my own and was running a home daycare to earn income for my family. My daycare was open 50 hours a week, so I had 5 kids under the age of 4 in my care during those hours. I was swamped, exhausted, and didn't have much of a social life. One day, my husband came home from work and said, "Hi, honey, how was your day?" I said, "Oh my gosh, the funniest thing happened on Dora the Explorer today. I can't wait to tell you all about it." Of course, he replied with, "That was the highlight of your day? I think you need to get out of the house a little bit more, sweetie." 2 days later, my good friend Lori came over for coffee. The first thing out of her mouth was, "I just joined the Pampered Chef, and you should too. I think you'd be great at it." Woo! Now, maybe I was a little ticked off at my husband still because I replied, "Sure. Apparently, I need to get out of the house more." Now, that is the story of how I got started. But I want you to think of the reason you started your Pampered Chef business. I bet we have some similar and not so similar stories in this room. And that brings me to my first point. Don't prejudge anyone. Imagine if Lori had thought I was too busy to invite to the business. I learned that lesson again myself recently when I was passing out catalogs to guests at a cooking show, and I skipped over a young man who was sitting with his mother. She piped up and said, "He has his own money and would like a catalog too, please." This young man had just turned 18 and was still in high school. Guess what? He joined my team. Woo! His first show was over $1,100. Wahoo! He asked me if that was good for his first show. You never know what's going on in someone else's head or circumstances, so just ask everyone. Another helpful recruiting tool at my shows is the door prize drawing slip. I make sure everyone in attendance fills one out, because sometimes people leave without placing an order, and I can't follow up with someone if I don't have their contact information. I walk everyone through filling out the slips. I call out the usual things listed on the top half of the sheet, like name, address, etc. But when we get to the second half, I say, right here where it says if you would like more info on the business opportunity, check yes, maybe, or no. And next to that, I want you to put on a scale of 1 to 10 how interested you are. 1 being, I just won the lottery. I don't need any more money. Or 10, I would love more information. Remember, I have a 5, a 3, and a 1-year-old at home, people. I don't have time to stalk you. If you would like information, I will provide it. Next, where it asks if you would like more information on hosting a show, check yes, maybe, or no. And next to that, I want you to put a number that represents your level of interest. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, you're crazy and I would never let you into my house. Or 10, you're my kind of crazy. When can we party? This fun walkthrough of the door prize drawing slip ensures that I get everyone's information, so I can follow up with them later. Very often I will have people contacting me saying, I know I put a 1 on my slip, but I want to book a party. After attending my first national conference last July and hearing Sharon Zellen tell her personal story of how the Pampered Chef changed her life, I realized that this was the component that was missing from my cooking shows. Yes, we have lots of fun. I play recruiting games and I put recruiting seeds throughout my demo. But I never really told people how the Pampered Chef changed my life. On the plane ride home from Chicago, I wrote furiously into my notebook what is now my wrap it up story. After the recipe is finished and everyone is happy and has a full belly, I say this. I told you all earlier about how I was working 50 hours a week at my home daycare and selling Pampered Chef on the side for my sanity. About a year after I started my Pampered Chef business, my daycare kids moved to another Air Force base. The very next month, my husband's company cut everyone's hours and pay. Suddenly, we needed more income, fast. I didn't want to put my kids in daycare and get a regular part-time job. I also loved the flexibility my Pampered Chef business provided. I decided to up my show schedule to 2 shows a week, and I was able to replace my lost income and my husband's pay cut. Now I know none of you came here looking for a job today, but think of how an extra $100 for a night of fun could impact your family. Or maybe you simply need a few nights out of the house like I did. I'm so fortunate that I had this business to fall back on when I really needed it, and I ask each of you to think of what you could use more of. More income, more fun, more time, more passion, more recognition, or maybe just a kitchen full of more Pampered Chef products. I'll be asking each of you if you'd like more information when we check out. So whenever you're ready, you can place your order forms in a pile, and I will call your name when I'm ready. In the meantime, have fun mingling, and thank you for coming to Susie's party today.
Woo-hoo!
My final tip for increasing your recruits is the full service checkout. This is the most important time I have with my guests. When I first arrive, I immediately scope out a spot to claim as my checkout area, and I put my checkout bag there to save it. After I end my show by telling my personal story, I start cleaning up until people start putting their order forms into a pile. I go to my little spot and I calculate the orders down to the roundup section, and then I call them over. I ask them if they had fun tonight and how they enjoyed the recipe. This is where I get to know them one-on-one. The first thing I ask is if they've ever thought about having their own business, because the Pampered Chef business opportunity is the best deal in the catalog. Then I listen and I watch their demeanor. Sometimes they laugh and say, "Oh, I could never do what you do." I reply with, "What did I do that was so hard?" I just put some ingredients into the microwave. The deep cover baker did all the work.
Nice.
Sometimes they say, "Oh, I don't have enough time to do something like this." And I'll say, "A party is about 2 to 3 hours, and I spend about another hour keeping in contact with my host and entering in the orders. If you made $100 for about 4 hours of work, do you think you could find some time?" Regardless of whether or not they show interest in the business opportunity, I give them a Discover Us pamphlet, and I say, "Here's some information about the business, just in case your circumstances change, or you can think of anyone who could use a few extra $100 a month. I love referrals." I continue on with my full-service checkout, asking them if they are interested in hosting a cooking or catalog show, and I invite them to round up their order. If they say no to everything I've asked, I will ask them if they'd like a recipe card. To date, no one has turned me down, and it makes me feel better that at least they said yes to something I offered. So remember, if you don't ask, the answer will always be no. Make sure you ask everyone. Use the door prize drawing slips to get contact info. Make sure you share your personal story of why you joined the Pampered Chef and how it's changed your life. And of course, do a full service checkout with every guest. I'm so glad I was invited to the business, and I hope you share the Pampered Chef business opportunity with everyone you meet. Thank you.
Go, Kristina!
Can you see why she's a top star? I bet she has some really fun shows. And here's your brownie pan. Thank you so much, Kristina, for sharing.